Good evening and welcome to Stupid O'Clock News. I'm Lewis Lee, proud to be an American. Dateline, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. A woman was arrested Sunday charged with indecent exposure on the beach, the arresting officer reporting that she was wearing a thong in violation of city code. 26-year-old Sandra Wedgwood said she was not wearing a thong, that she was in fact wearing her COVID-19 face mask around her private parts because she was afraid of catching something down there. Wedgwood was immediately released from custody after a photo of her was leaked to Dr. Anthony Fauci at the National Institutes of Health, and he exclaimed that when it comes to protection, the more the merrier. But he did recommend she also wear a mask over her face as well. President Donald Trump tweeted the photo saying that it was the first mask that he'd seen that he could really get behind. Thank you. That's news. Back to you.
Good night, everybody.
Oh, well.
Oh.
It's not really stupid news unless the maniacs
give
you all.
Yeah. And Dan just dropped out. Dad nabbit. Let's go ahead and bring John back in. Hey, John.
4 minutes, 4 minutes, 15 seconds, and we already had our first good night, everybody, from the Animaniacs.
And that was and 15 seconds of that was me trying to
find the button.
Find the button. You need to warn me when we're going to have these type of conversations.
Wait a minute. Comes on. You're the one that presses the button that brings him on. You know when he's coming on. You should have that thing ready to go.
Sometimes he posts some good, serious stories. I thought he was going to go with the astronauts making crank calls from the capsule in the ocean.
Oh,
we need to talk about that because they need to make like America's Funniest Home Videos of that, of them just.
And the problem,
Domino's.
And the problem was
you delivered to Cape Canaveral.
SpaceX got real mad because they found out that the sat phone was not linked to any of the communication systems, so they couldn't record any of them.
They didn't have like a flight recorder in the capsule.
Well, you would
probably have a voice recorder in there.
Yeah, isn't that like an FAA thing? Jeez.
Yeah. Well, they got an voice recorder, but you don't hear what the other side of the phone call.
Okay. But just remember, these sat phones are for emergencies.
Yeah.
And in an emergency, you're not going to have capsule communication.
Yeah.
It's just going to be you on that phone saying, capsule blowed up. I'm in a rubber raft. Come and get me.
Yep. They crank called Houston Mission Control, their flight director. They called Hawthorne. They called Elon, and Elon didn't answer because he didn't recognize the number.
Figures.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, Mission Control. There's Dan. Dan's back.
Yeah, for some reason my computer froze.
Oh no.
Well,
Well,
I'd have like called, like AAA. So, how do we get a tow truck up here?
they did call the Coast Guard. Complained about the boats being too close. Now something crazy happened to me today.
No.
Yeah.
What are the odds?
What are the odds? Alexa, play Audible.
Getting your selection from Audible. Resuming abducted. There's 2 hours, 41 minutes left in the book.
This is Audible. Abducted. A Tom Darby adventure. Written by Dan L. Hollifield. Narrated by Walt Allen. Dedication. To my wife, Lindsay, my mom and dad, all my family and friends, the Apelion Webzine staff, readers, and writers, to Scott for making this possible, and to Tom Dietz for being my first editor.
Alexa, stop. We
You
love
sure
you,
know-
man.
You sure know how to hurt a guy. Oh yeah.
You should have you should have turned the volume up on the Alexa, and 2, you should have held it closer to the microphone.
Yeah, I thought about that, but by the time I got ready to go, it was too late.
We're all old. We can't hear that good.
Dan could hear it.
Not only could I hear it, but I wrote it, so I knew every word.
Dan, it looked like he was about to cry.
No, that would have been last night when I started listening to the release edit after all the post production had been done.
Oh,
I got to hear the pre-production recordings
yeah.
and give my feedback so that Walt could correct 1 or 2 mispronunciations, but that's about it.
Hmm.
He's got the voice of my my narrator character down pat.
But yeah, I got 1 free Audible book, so that's the one I got.
Well, hopefully I still get credit for it.
So I just wanted to play that tonight for you.
Thank you very much. I am profoundly moved.
Yeah. And I'm working on some other guests, and that should be good for a lot of people.
I think I'm going to have to go track down John Ringo and smack him around a little bit.
Yeah, I've asked around, and somebody said John would freak out. He can't do these things.
Really?
Yeah, they say he's shy.
Well, yes, he is. You wouldn't know it talking to him at a convention, but he is actually very shy.
There's Heather on our YouTube channel saying, what about the video in the capsule talking about the astronauts making their crank calls? It's probably there, but
Do we dare ask Gary Poole on one night?
Oh, yeah.
should we?
Should we not?
We need to get him and John Ringo on at the same time.
Yeah. Well, since they collaborate, yeah.
Exactly.
I'd love to have Gary on here.
I wonder if we can talk to him and get him on Saturday.
Yeah, you guys he would probably show up for you more than he would me.
It would depend on whether or not he's got to be at work Sunday.
True.
I don't know if he works Monday through Friday or every day.
He does work Monday through Friday, but they've got a weird schedule now because of the COVID thing. They can only have 2 people in the broadcast booth at the same time. So it's no longer the Gary, Beth, and Eric show. It's now just the Gary and Beth show, and Eric comes on later in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So,
And because Gary's on the air so early in the morning, he would probably not be able to do the Thursday, but he could recover from Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah. How is things over at at your place? Is it still all remote broadcast? Everybody going from home, or?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there are some people that have to go, board ops that have to go.
Yeah.
But most of the show hosts are doing it from home. Bill Watson is doing his afternoon news and traffic from home.
Okay.
I've heard you doing stuff occasionally.
Yeah, I do 3 news stories a day, and they're sprinkled out throughout the day. But I do those from home at night.
And I thought Bill retired.
Yeah, well, he almost did. They wouldn't let him.
I was about to say, do you actually ever get to retire from radio? I thought they just eventually fire you or something.
Usually, you get fired before you can retire.
Exactly.
But,
Either that or they drop a microphone in your coffin.
yeah.
No, the reason I asked, because about time I got injured is when I quit listening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, basically because I was driving around all day. It was something to pass the time. And I was hearing the rumors of Bill retiring.
Well, Bill has been battling something medically, for which he has semi-annual treatments that really take it out of him. So he kind of schedules vacation around that a little bit, and he has not confided in me exactly what that is. I'm sure that Kevin West is probably the only person that knows for sure, but I'm sure it's something in the cancer family.
Oh, okay. Man, that's somebody I'd like to pull in here too, is Kevin sometime.
He probably would, once again on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because
he does the early mornings.
Morning.
Who is it? It's probably just him and Jim.
Yeah, they're the only ones that are physically in the studio in the mornings, and they're in separate rooms. Jim's in the booth, and Kevin's in the studio. Well, he runs between the studio and the
newsroom
because he records the traffic every 15 minutes in the newsroom, and then puts that track up on the server, and then each radio station
can pulls
it from the server, pulls it into their lineup. Their playlist.
Now, is there a board op at KZ in the mornings, or
no? There hasn't been a board op at KZ in the mornings for quite some time. Kelly used to get in there at 9 in the morning and do the 9 to 1, and then Chase comes in at 1 and does 1 to 6 or 1 to 7 or something.
And then it goes back to.
Then it goes to voice tracking, and I believe Brad Geesa does the voice tracking for the early evening.
Radio's not what it used to be.
No, but I don't know.
It used to be this. It's changes every so often.
Well,
that was dirty.
Yeah, I thought one of the isn't one of the stations in the market now supposed to have somebody at the mic 24/7?
I don't know.
So I think it's all automated now.
Well, even the stations that are automated have to have somebody flipping switches. So you still got producers and board ops, but the on-air talent is getting thin.
Yeah, and they're actually on-air talent working 3 and 4 different radio stations across the nation.
Yeah.
Well, it's because it's all gotten bought up by, how many are there, like now 5? companies that actually own everything in the United States
Well, I mean,
as
there's
far as radio goes.
yeah.
I don't think Lewis wants to talk about it. It's not that Lewis don't want to talk about it.
If you didn't archive these shows and I was only worried about who was watching live, I would spill my guts.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it for you then. The scourge of corporate radio.
You don't hear nothing.
La 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 la. I didn't say it.
Uh,
Don't,
from them. I can't say anything.
don't threaten his retirement money.
no, we're not going to do that.
Hey, I've bought advertising on some of these radio stations. They owe me.
Oh,
Would you get a bad ad?
How about you pay them for like 200 hours worth and you get 2?
Hey, John.
They forgot the zeros. And then the radio station got bought out and said, "Oh, we don't know what you're talking about."
Oh.
Sounds like Facebook ads.
yeah.
I got a call today from the 6th Cavalry Museum down in Fort O.
Really?
They got a grant, and they need to shoot some videos for little 2, 3, 4 minute lessons. And so they called me up and meeting with them at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Hopefully, it'll be decent money. I don't know, how much the grant was for.
Hey, Lewis, I may know a good narrator for you. What? the heck? I'm hearing echoes.
Wasn't me.
No, I know somebody that would be a real good face and voice for you.
Who?
Look up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
He-
not
he-
me.
he-
I've
he-
got a face for radio.
Hey,
Me
I got
too.
We all.
hey, I got a voice for newsprint.
Actually, Joe, you have a very melodious voice. Unfortunately, it lives in the southern United States.
Yeah.
Dag nabbit.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
It just means it's in B flat.
I rewatched our launch video today. I didn't realize what sissy look I did. That was me. I didn't want to be chewing my nails, so I chewed my knuckles. I was double fisting the knuckle chewing.
Well, and they're not even pickled.
don't talk about fisting. We're on YouTube.
There's an old role playing game called Traveler.
Called what?
Traveler,
Traveler.
Okay.
and I'm on their Facebook page, and I do a lot of technical stuff, especially when it comes to like military vehicles and weapons and things of that nature.
Uh-huh.
And apparently somebody posted an article on there today. I can't remember where it came from, but it was about sex in space.
Hmm.
And it went in.
Good night, everybody.
What?
I hit the wrong one.
In space.
Years.
I-
But it covered a little bit of everything about, basically, if we're going to be in space for years, people are going to have sex. That's just the way things are.
A couple of hours usually does it.
And if we're going to colonize another planet, you're definitely going to have to. That's just part of it. Making babies on another planet. So and we were just having so many darn jokes about this. About I won't go into all of it, but Elon Musk is definitely going to get a giggle off of this article when he reads it, because I wish I could remember. Let me see if I
So, John, you.
Oh, it is an article from space.com.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not making this up. This is a legitimate article that came out. And but anyway, everybody, if you hear a bunch of pings in the background on my screen, it's people making jokes about the article.
Interestingly enough, I think it was Larry Niven that pointed out that You actually need some kind of safety harness to keep from flying apart,
Injuring yourself. Yes.
at the penultimate moment, because every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
And men tend to have this little thruster going.
Yeah,
It's could actually
when
push
things
them
work,
across
yeah.
the space capsule.
yeah, and then you got to clean up all the debris.
Good night, everybody.
So, who here
What was that for, Joe?
who here thinks that it's already happened?
I think the
husband and
Russians
wife
did it.
went up. Okay.
I think the Russians did it.
I think so.
Russians.
And we had a man and wife duo on the station for
They're I
3
can't remember their
months.
names. I could look it up if I need to. But they got married in secret and didn't tell NASA, and they both went up to the ISS at the same time
that's what I was talking
and
about.
stayed up there for 5 months or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not saying the Russians are the only ones, but I think they were the first.
Probably.
Now, okay.
Yeah, but
now
that was an assignment. They were
Yeah.
told they had to.
for the
Volunteer.
party, comrade.
Yes. Yes, we'll take
I
one
don't
for
like
the
this
team.
party.
But Mir,
There were women on Mir
I
for years.
first 250-mile I Club members.
My name is Helga. I'm an astronaut. Ooh.
Oh, and ISS is supposed to get a new module.
A new what?
A
A
new
new
module.
module. The Russians
new
are
what?
launching a module sometime this month.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
I
they're
thought they were
putting a new
done
module
building
on the
on
ISS this month. I
Yeah.
think it's this month.
It's
Urban
soon.
sprawl.
No kidding. It'd be the low income housing.
I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting. They're fussing about the little satellites with Starlink.
Yeah.
Imagine when they get the 8-mile wide space station flying around up there.
They are in the planning stages right now of building another ISS to orbit the moon.
Yeah,
Yes, I
Gateway.
heard about
it's
that.
going to be called Gateway. But yeah, can you imagine once they get the big, supersized, 500,000 people space station up there?
Is it going to be like the one in 2001 where it's a big wheel that rotates?
Probably. I don't know
That-
why we hadn't already done that.
Well,
Because we're not willing to throw that much money up there.
Because they're hard to keep in orbit.
Well,
There's
you got to
not-
get them up high enough to where you don't have to worry about that.
spinning in an orbit.
Yeah, but it also tends to roll. And the one in,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would work.
there's a whole lot of mechanics behind it.
Tumble, I think, is the word you're looking for.
Tumble,
Yeah.
roll, pitch, all this sort of stuff. That just because, and every time you dock something to it, you change the weight, which throws off the spin axis and so on. So they're very hard to keep those straight.
Well, not if you docked in the center like they did in 2001.
Yeah, but then you have the problem of having the center be like a set of bearings where it stays still and the rest rotates around it for the artificial gravity.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's
It can
There's-
be done. It can be done. I know people that have designed the actual systems that would be able to go from the stationary hub to the rotating portion, and that ain't easy. It looks like a spirograph when you look at the drawings.
yeah.
But
We had one of them on the show.
We need to get her on here again.
Are you
Oh.
talking about her and Travis?
well, that would be a
Whoever.
good pair.
Well, I doubt we'd ever get Travis. He's become a TV star.
This is kind of like TV, except we don't pay them.
Echo, echo, echo.
It's not me.
It's your
It
voice.
sounded like me, but it wasn't me.
I got my headphones on. Oh, so what else are we gonna? What else? Oh, let's talk about the crater maker.
Oh God, you are going to get me
Oh,
started
dear.
on this, aren't you?
Oh dear.
Would
Well-
you like me to do a news story?
Well, let's talk about the potential impact if there's not some international relief.
Oh, the United States already started their relief mission today. So
I mean,
Israel offered. I don't know if they're
France,
Lebanese are going to.
Macron has
France has
Yeah.
already started sending stuff in. I don't know
Doctors,
who else.
especially, I do believe.
I mean, they're right across the Med from France, so
Yeah.
I would imagine
Well-
France does a lot of trade.
there's only two countries, I think, in the world right now that can help them on the food side. That's us and Russia.
Yeah,
That's us and Russia.
and Russia has the bigger grain stores actually.
Maybe,
Because well, they've got more land to grow grain.
but we've got the better climate, and ours is already coming in.
Yeah. ours is
Yeah,
happening.
but ours is corporate controlled. Nobody's going to let go of it.
Oh no, a lot. You'd be surprised how much of that goes straight to the U.S. government.
I would be surprised.
I mean, government cheese, man. Government cheese.
They're talking like they've only got a month's supply of grain left.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. I mean, looking at that grain elevator, what didn't get blown out into the bay or into the city has been contaminated by the destruction of the building.
Oh yeah.
And whoever built those grain elevators, I know half of it's gone, but the other half is
Half of it
still
survived.
standing after a 3.7 megaton blast right next door.
That much.
That's some good construction right there.
It only took out half of them.
Well,
Oh.
it did take out the front half of the building, but it should have from the rest of it.
It should have leveled
sent those
everything.
blocks everywhere.
Okay. Let me hit a few highlights here for those.
All right.
First of all, in 2013, a Russian-owned vessel, the motor vessel Rosas, was detained in Beirut with a cargo of 2,750 metric tons of ammonium nitrate, which is basically for fertilizer. But
Yeah.
you can also convert it into explosives.
Yeah.
Most explosives are based on nitrates, for those of you who don't know. Let me see. It sat there in those warehouses for years, over 6 years, just sitting there. Now, the problem is with ammonium nitrate, it degrades over time, especially if exposed to moisture.
Yes, it does
It will
soak
actually-
up water from the air.
It'll soak up water from the air, it will decompose, and it will give off nitrous oxide gas. Yes, the stuff they use to make dragsters go a little faster.
And the doctor gives you to go make you funny.
Yeah.
No wonder
But,
the welder in the next building was making
Not paying
mistakes.
attention to what he was doing. Yeah. Okay. Now, the warehouse they stored it in was a hazardous materials warehouse, of course. It also had everything from small arms to fireworks to all that stuff that you don't store next to your other stuff that'll catch on fire. And what did they do? They caught it on fire because some guy was in there welding, fixing a hole in the warehouse. That set off a chain of events that culminated in 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate exploding with a force equivalent to 1.55 kilotons of TNT. The largest conventional bomb the United States military has only has an equivalent of 11 tons of TNT. That's the Moab.
Mm.
This was nearly not nuclear in the way it went. I mean,
You saw the mushroom cloud.
you don't.
You saw
That
the
is
Well,
way
all
so big.
explosions,
That
all
shockwave was
explosions do that.
not to that extent.
And for those of you who don't know, TNT is the standard explosive that all other explosives are judged by. are compared to. Even nuclear weapons are compared to TNT,
Trinitrotoluene.
something like that.
But
I can never. I think it's trinitrotoluene, but I can never remember how to pronounce it.
That's correct.
now, did y'all see the wedding video?
Yes.
They were pretty darn close.
There's
Yeah.
one. There's two of them. One of them, the lady is sitting in a balcony, filming it from the distance, and the balcony, the front of it is plate glass,
Oh,
and then right behind her is the plate glass sliding door to the balcony. When the bomb went off, she actually managed to make it through the plate glass door into the apartment, and then when the shockwave hit, all of that glass went flying in past her. And she didn't survive. Her phone did. The video did. She didn't.
oh man.
I didn't know that.
And then there's some other poor slob that was sitting on a warehouse. Now, all the warehouses were right there around the.
Yeah.
He was videotaping the fire when this thing went off. And when the first explosion went off and the secondary started popping all over the place, he took off running to get away from it and probably made it to the other side of the warehouse away from the explosive. But he was on the roof of the warehouse when it went up. And his video ends when the phone dies suddenly. They said they're still recovering bodies out to sea that got blasted into the bay during the explosion. There were 6 ships damaged, and one of the smallest ones is actually got blown up onto the quay side, just north of the crater. You can't really tell it's a ship anymore. It's just a big beat up hulk. One other ship capsized nearby, and it blew so much dirt out of that crater where the warehouse used to be. The 2 ships that were right there next to it are grounded by all the dirt that got thrown into the bay. The back end of the ship is basically on a sandbar now. It wiped out, if I'm not mistaken, 13 large warehouses right there around the immediate blast zone. At last count, there were over 150 dead and or missing.
Oh, this.
And the wounded are literally tens of thousands.
Yep.
3 hospitals were damaged. One of the hospitals was within a mile of the blast zone, and the whole front end of. And the bad part is, the part of the hospital that took the biggest hit was their neonatal area, or their maternity ward. And just the whole front end of that thing's been blown in, where all the babies were kept.
I think we just ran Heather off with that one because we went to 0. But
Now,
well, y'all
the
saw
good news was I saw one today where there was a lady that was supposedly actually giving birth at the time of the explosion. And she didn't have to push that
That
hard.
went quick. Yeah.
Yeah, really. It's kind of like, squirt, let me get out of here.
I saw
Ow, boom.
I saw 2 videos today. One was the Arabic BBC channel was doing an interview with somebody in Beirut.
Oh, I saw that one. And she, some lady, I'm trying to remember, she's some finance ministry.
Yeah.
Official. And she's sitting there in her building. All of a sudden, it's like, and the lights go out and their fire alarms going off. And they finally, her computer fell off the desk. And she's hiding under the desk, grabbed her computer. Is like,
and then the wedding photo. I mean, that looked like a Michael Bay film.
No, it was much, much better production values.
Yeah. I mean, Michael Bay will probably use that for all of his explosive research from now on.
All you got to do is add a lens flare.
It's got to. No, that's JJ.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be studying the video because I don't think there's ever been an explosion that large shy of a nuke. So I would imagine there's lots of munitions that they're going to be studying those videos.
Oh, yes.
Halifax, Nova Scotia.
yeah, but they didn't get that on video. The
No,
Texas
they
City
didn't.
one, they didn't get
They
on
did not.
video.
Texas City, they did not get on video.
Now, the recent one in China.
What was the one? What was the one in India? Was that an explosion or just a poison gas release?
Oh no, that
Roll call, that was poison
not
gas.
the explosion.
Okay.
That was chemical release. There was one in China in 2016, I think. It wasn't nearly as big as this one, but it was close to 800 tons of ammonium nitrate.
Well, what about the Morton Thiokol explosion out in
The rocket fuel. Yeah.
the rocket fuel?
Oops.
I remember one in Baton Rouge back in I think it was 1988. An Exxon storage tank went up, and I was 3 miles away and felt the shock wave. I just happened to be at a gas station filling up my tank, and
What? I feel like a linebacker hit you?
yeah, it kind of felt like a mattress hit you, you know?
And you turn around going,
Soft and hard at the same time. It felt like somebody had a mattress and just boom, just knocked the crap out of you.
and you stood and you looked around like, what was that?
Well, yeah, and you know, I mean, it's not just the force of that, but it's also wind. So,
Yeah.
so it's like,
Oh,
kind of freaky.
oh, I remember the Morton Thiokol explosion. And that was because of Challenger. That can be traced back to the Challenger event.
What?
Yeah, the Morton Thiokol. When Challenger blew up,
They had to redesign their boosters.
yeah. Well, the problem is they never told the production plant making the rocket fuel, hey, shut down. So they just kept pumping. And they kept telling NASA, hey, you need to come pick this stuff up. Hey, you need to come pick this stuff up. NASA's going, okay, we'll get it. Or
Then
that was
one day it wasn't there to go get.
and lo and behold, guess what set it off?
Hmm.
A welder.
A welder.
Damn welders.
I get trained by OSHA on stuff at least once a year, sometimes twice a year, and they always bring up the Texas City, Halifax, Bhopal, and a lot of other stuff where if somebody had just followed the new procedures that didn't exist then, right now, those things would not have happened. But
Chernobyl.
that's like going, if you had a time machine, you could fix everything.
Yeah.
All right. Bio break to the fridge. I will be right back.
All right.
Okay. Apparently, they've known about the ammonium nitrate in Beirut for a long time. And then they've just recently announced they're having protests in Lebanon over it, and they've detained 16 people in Beirut. The government, they're calling for government resignations and a probe, and they've detained 16 people. And this is from Al Jazeera, which is probably the most trusted news agency in that part of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Americans always Americanize it. There's Reuters I like. BBC I kind of like, but they're starting to get kind of Angloed. Sky Network out of Europe is pretty good too, and Al Jazeera. They actually, strangely enough, they do a better job reporting than most U.S. news agencies because they're really good about just the facts, and they don't try to push any agenda, which actually kind of ticks off a lot of people in the Middle East because. And let's see. Apparently they're having riots and fires and vandalized stores and throwing stones at security forces.
Yeah, well, they were already in a bad situation before this happened. So
The Lebanese ambassador to Jordan resigns over the government's negligence.
Hmm.
She says she can't work for them anymore. See, Italy is pledging a global response to help Lebanon. Let's see who else. France are the forefront, of course. Nice people that they are. Let's see here.
Hey, Joe.
yes, what do we got going?
I guess I am still. I did some work for Nashville Public Schools a couple of years back.
Yeah,
That Nashville 16 documentary,
yeah.
and apparently I'm still on their list of suppliers. And it says, "Good afternoon. I am a contracting agent for Metro Nashville Public Schools. As you're fully aware of, we are having to do things differently this year. That includes high school football. As of right now, the season is set to start approximately September 11th. This could change based on the governor's and TSSAA's direction. Due to these games being played in empty stadiums, we are needing solutions from all of you on how to best stream the games so that parents and fans can watch from their computers/phones." So this is basically a request for proposals from video suppliers on how they can go in and cover these games remotely. The requirements are streaming must happen on a free, easy to find, easy to access platform such as Facebook Live, Twitter, or a website link. Streaming must be available on iOS, Android, Mac, and PC. It must be in HD. There will be between 8 to 13 games a week that need to be streamed. Must be at least one camera shot from the 50-yard line from either the stands or the press box. It's doubtful that field access will be granted. Frankly, I don't like shooting football from the field because I always come this close to getting my ass wiped out.
Yeah.
If
You
you've
can't
seen
see anything on the field level anyway.
There must be live sound. This does not have to be great, but it needs to feel and sound like one is in the stands. Optional play-by-play announcing, not to include color commentating. The game link must be provided to the school for disbursement no less than 3 hours before the game, and the entire games must be provided. This shall include 20 minutes prior to kickoff all the way through the final whistle to include all four quarters as well as any overtime.
This sounds like a job for StreamYard.
I would love to be able to bid on at least one game, but I'm not driving up to Nashville every friggin' Friday for football season. I don't
Unless
like
they pay
being
you.
out here in the valley. That's
I-
why I don't shoot for Channel 3 anymore.
So I could see very easily somebody that
Where's Skunk when we need him?
yeah. I mean a couple high school kids tech savvy with Facebook and StreamYard could just
Could own that thing.
could own that.
The only thing they'd have trouble with is the HD camera.
HD cameras are dirt cheap right now.
Exactly.
StreamYard
Yep.
just upgraded to 1080p programming.
Cool. Are we on that?
Yeah.
Is this 1080p here?
Yeah,
That's-
a little too good. Thank you. Thank you.
Your left nostril needs to be plucked.
I'll be right back.
Good night, everybody.
No,
Okay.
I've
Let's see.
been on Facebook Live now, and I've been on Zoom now.
You've been on YouTube.
Well, no, I've been on YouTube for years, but I mean, in a meeting sort of thing like we're doing right now.
Gotcha.
StreamYard has the best picture quality,
So far. Yeah.
and it has the least amount of lag and dropout
What do you got
of
there, Lee?
anything else I've been on.
This is a Panasonic camcorder. It's a UX90, and it is 4K.
Ooh, Yes, it is.
It has a 15x optical zoom, which is really
Perfect for a football game.
if I'm shooting from the stands and the 50-yard line, I can get the whole game. I can zoom in, I can pull, I can follow the action all really well. And got a wireless remote here.
Is
Well,
that for
a wireless mic receiver, and I can put the transmitter in the booth and get the stadium announcer
play-by-play?
as clear as day.
Now, the only thing that worries me
Now,
is
how
that
long will that
tribble
run
you've
on
got
one battery?
mounted.
This camera is amazing. This thing will run on this battery for 4 to 5 hours. And I can just plug it in. It's got an AC adapter. I can plug it in and run it indefinitely on AC.
Now, what about your remote audio?
I usually get a minimum 8 hours on a set of batteries, and they're just
Both ends of it?
Huh?
Both ends,
they're-
the transmitter
Yeah,
and receiver?
better too.
They're just copper tops.
Yep,
Double A, you said?
yep, double A's.
Have you tried the Energizer lithiums?
Yeah, I don't need them for this application.
Yeah.
They're like remotes. I'll use lithiums in because I can get 2 years out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was doing my ghost team, that's all we would use on our recorders was the lithium batteries.
Yeah.
So we could get we would get just such a good life out of them. And I can't see what you're doing there.
I'm trying to show us the screen.
I can tell if you can see. Yeah, but all right. There's the light in my ceiling. Okay.
Yeah.
This is the zoom.
And now
So
it's the moon.
Ah, that's the sun.
it'll reach out and touch. Like I said, it's got a 15x optical zoom, and then I can go 2x on digital zoom. And yeah, I could definitely do a live broadcast with this because I can output an HDMI directly to a transmitter.
Now, if you had 10 people scattered around a football stadium, all the way around, with that equipment,
Mm-hmm.
using StreamYard, you could get every single angle of every single play and cover the halftime shows.
Mm-hmm.
If they got good Wi-Fi at the stadium.
And that was one of the questions that came up. He sent a second email after this one saying that the question came up about, internet access. And he said that they can't guarantee a good signal. So they should probably include a Wi-Fi hotspot in their pricing.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah. There is a there is a minimal cost option for multi-camera shoots that use Wi-Fi. That's it's called a Sling Box. Not to be confused with Sling
TV.
video service,
Yeah.
but it's called Sling Box, and it's a receiver, and you can buy however many transmitters you want, and this thing will combine all the signals on each separate channel, and then you've got a switcher, and you've got a couple of monitors. You got a preview and a program monitor, and you can pick and choose between these cameras. I mean, it used to be so hard to do something like that because, number one, all the cameras had to be cabled. All the cameras had to be time synced with the time code generator in the truck. Everything had to be just perfectly meshed. And now you got this Sling Box that can take, and it doesn't even have to be the same kind of camera. I mean, you can have a couple of iPhones out there and then a couple of cameras like I've got, and then a couple of palm quarters, and you can mix and match all of those in on this single receiver switcher. I wish I could afford it. I wish I had need for it, because I think the technology is just that interesting. But it would be a perfect.
The only thing I can think of is whoever's on the mixing board has to be outrageously good.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
True with any mixing board.
there are TDs. There are TDs right now that are screaming for work. Technical directors, the guys that sit there and look at all the preview monitors and, based on what the director says, punches whichever one of them up. Believe me, if you ever saw the control room during an NFL game or a big college game, it is a symphony of chaos. It's a beautiful thing to see. I hear it all the time on the headsets because I do camera work for a lot of these games. And you just don't believe how fast things happen in there. And you got replay operators saying, I got a good look at that on green, and then the director says, all right, ready green, take green. And then they show the slow replay, and you got camera ops out there saying, "Hey, I got that one. That one's coming right at me." And
I'm trying to find the price on the Sling box. I can't find it.
you can't find Slingbox.
Yeah, I checked the Amazon, but I have to go.
Oh, I don't think Amazon has it.
No,
Yeah,
this is pro equipment, so you'd have to go to the manufacturer probably.
Yeah, I'd say prosumer. Let's see.
I was just wondering how much one of them would cost, and how many cameras can it support?
I think it was about $1,000 for the box, and then it's a few $100s for each of the transmitters.
And what kind
I've
of range?
come up with a need for
What kind of range does the transmitter have?
It's mostly line of sight for about 300 feet.
Oh, okay.
So you would have to have your receiver in a place that could see all the cameras. Oh, Slingbox.com is temporarily offline for scheduled maintenance.
well,
Figures.
that explains why you
Horrible
can't.
timing.
Yeah,
Here you are talking all good about them, and now we can't even get on their website.
yeah, really, we're giving them free advertising and they shut down.
That's probably why they shut down.
We crashed their server.
Should we start talking about Congress?
You said Slingbox on this show. Thousands of people run in to look at it, and now we can't get on.
Well, you heard Smith & Wesson's making a new pistol. It's called the Congressman.
It won't
All right.
work and you can't fire it.
It won't work. You can't fire it. Oh yeah.
And
getting
whatever
on
you do with it, it blows up in your face.
Now, here's something that I heard. There are people sitting in Congress that have great grandchildren of voting age that when they got their job in Congress didn't have children.
Yeah.
I
We need
believe-
Congress needs term limits like a sewer needs pumping out occasionally
Yeah,
for the
but
same
they're
reason.
not going to impose them on themselves. You've got the fox guarding the hen house.
Yeah, that's why we can't put them on minimum wage either.
Well, that's why we need to get the Supreme Court involved. There has to be checks
Yeah,
and it's supposed to be provided by that triumvirate, that three-bodied government. But the Supreme Court can't take unilateral action. They have to react. So
somebody has to file a lawsuit. Yeah.
somebody has
Yep.
to sue Congress for term limits.
I'm not doing anything this weekend.
I'll go sign. I'll go in with you. I'll bet you we could get.
Oh,
A few
make
billion
it class
signatures.
action.
Yeah.
Make it a class action suit. We've got 300 million Americans.
I like that. Can we do a class action lawsuit against Congress?
Please,
You have to get their permission first.
Bullshit.
you're suing the government, you have to get their permission to sue them. That's been a law for a long, long time.
I think we can. I think we can sue them for not having term. What would you call that? Cronyism?
Yeah.
Or
I'd say
nepotism?
it's fraud.
Fraud? No, I don't know if you get them for fraud.
You could probably prove fraud because they keep saying that they're going to do things if they get elected, but then they've been in office for 20 years. Why haven't they done it yet?
Non-compliance with a contract.
Hey,
I like
just
that.
got something in the mail from David Perdue, and it showed this riot scene, talking about how things are happening in American cities, and we need to do something. I'm like, well, David, you're already in office. This is happening on
your watch.
Why haven't you done anything? Why are you saying you will do something if we reelect you? We've got no reason to reelect you because you're letting this happen.
You ain't done nothing yet.
You know what we'd have to do? We'd have to watch the news. We'd have to see Congress actually say, we're going to do this. Okay.
And record it.
And when it doesn't happen, there's your lawsuit right
Breach
there.
of promise?
Breach
Yeah.
contract. Or,
Breach of promise? Well, no, it's not a contract if they just say it, but it is breach of promise. And I would imagine you could get them on 330 million counts of breach of promise. They made that promise to
the United States.
So that's 330 million counts of breach of promise.
And Ruth Bader Ginsburg would be sitting there going, "Oh, I've been waiting for this."
Now, who is our lawyer friends on the? We've got millions of viewers.
Wait a minute. Think about what you just said.
What?
Lawyer friends.
Maybe associates.
That's like kind-hearted hooker.
Hey, I've met a few of those.
I'm glad you said that because you beat me.
Been
to it.
wanting to push this button for the last hour.
Well, I didn't hire them.
Oh,
I
Lewis,
just met them socially.
Lewis,
Hey.
you didn't show off your new beanie.
Oh, yeah.
Beanie. Oh,
These are available.
hey, Lynetta. Joe's trying to sell you a face mask.
These are available at teespring.com.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, we're all in this together. It's Earthrise over the moon.
That is probably one of my favorite photographs in all of history.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I believe I used to have the full poster size version of that on my wall when I was a teenager. I didn't have girly pictures. I had NASA pictures.
I had both.
That's the one.
I
That's the
didn't.
one thing Spencer was actually good at: posters.
Yeah,
Spencer.
Spencer's the it was. Can I say that word?
Yes, you can.
It was like a head shop. You go in there, you find
Spencer.
stuff.
Spencer's
stuff
Gifts.
Yeah.
yeah, Spencer's Gifts.
Okay.
You go in there,
See, he
you find
spoke so
posters,
much weed, he
you find
forgot what it was.
decorations, black lights,
Yeah.
black light
I
posters,
remember.
all kinds of posters.
And the other
And,
one was Gallagher's. Took me forever to remember that.
Yeah,
I miss Gallagher's.
I don't know
and
if I Gallagher's in all
It
of
was
Pier
almost
One
exactly
in a
the same
tiny
thing.
way. Pier One in a very tiny way. They didn't go all out like Spencer's or
And now
I've
you
never
got
been in a Gallagher's, so I
and now
don't
you got
know.
Hot
but-
Topic, which is
Yeah, Spencer's Light.
well, they used to have great concert T-shirts, and then they went
More about
commercial.
clothing than the doodads and the gadgets and the trinkets. And
That's the one problem with small businesses that go under is they actually do a lot better job than a lot of these commercial guys. And just for some reason, everybody goes to the commercial guy.
Well, what got me, since we're talking about businesses going under, what about the big news yesterday?
Songbirds,
Songbirds.
that hurt.
Oh yeah,
That was a guitar museum?
Guitar museum,
Guitar museum, but there was also a venue. They had two performance
like a
museums.
like a performance hall kind of thing.
They've
Yeah.
got their Songbirds Foundation, which is all about getting guitar lessons into the schools. Now that they're continuing, but the physical venue is going to have to shut down because their lease runs out in October, and I would guess it's going to take them between the time they shut down next weekend and October to find
Find home for all the guitars.
all these guitars. There's one guitar worth $350,000. It's $300,000 guitar.
And
I
Dan,
can
you,
tell you right now that one does not have my autograph on it.
Dan, to
Yes.
tell you where Songbirds is, the big venue, the big music venue is downstairs at the Choo Choo, where all the shops that got wiped away. That is Songbirds. The upstairs where the little theater and the train museum is
Yeah.
was the guitar museum.
Oh, bugger.
Now, I'm sorry. I know.
Well,
Zach,
we can't have anything nice around here.
is it Zach Kinsey? Is that his name?
No, not Zach. One of the Kimseys.
On the Kinseys?
One of the real estate Kimseys.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to tell you, they're right now wishing they had not turned all their little shops into a music venue.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And I look forward to the day when they realize that turning all their hotel rooms into apartments was a bad idea too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I'm surprised it happened this quick.
Oh, repercussions do happen sometimes really quickly.
What I don't understand is, and this isn't the only instance like this, you know, I'm sure that Songbirds is saying, well, you know, we can't keep paying rent on this place. You know, they could keep going if the rent and the utilities didn't keep coming due every month like nothing was going on with COVID-19. But I don't understand landlords that aren't trying to work with companies and things.
You're not going to get any. Yeah, you're not going to get any money off of an empty building. You know?
Exactly. When Songbirds moves out, then you've got, you know, a building that looks like a Whoville house after the Grinch has been through, you know, with all the strings hanging, and
Yeah.
you're not making any money off of that. Now you're going to have to market it. You're going to have to find somebody.
I'd be willing to bet they've already got somebody wanting to get in there.
Ain't nobody starting a business right now until
No.
all this shit is over. So you may as well just suck it up and give them a good deal until it is over, and then you can go right back on. Not only have you maintained a tenant, but you've also built a hell of a lot of good karma and actually some what Joe, what's the word I'm looking for?
Reputation.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, you've
Karma's a good thing. But the problem with Songbirds is Songbirds came in and shut down all the little tiny music venues because they were bringing so many of the big people in, you know, that they were giving the little people.
And now the little guys are like,
Now the little guys are going, you know, are already bankrupt and ain't got all the venue space has been converted into restaurants and apartment complexes and all that. Now there is no venue.
Yeah.
okay, Lewis, who is that?
This is Gretchen,
That is Gretchen.
my miniature schnauzer.
This is Gretchen's first appearance.
No, actually second.
Second?
Yeah.
Okay.
She
She
came
had
down.
a voiceover.
Now I did, yeah, we did hear some of her voiceover work a few times.
She's a sweetie.
Gretchen. Hey Gretchen.
Oh,
Gretchen.
Look up.
she just totally loves you.
Hey.
Sorry, wrong button. There we go. Now do it, Joe.
Hey, Gretchen.
You see the silly man with the cabbie hat?
Oh. I remember when you first got her,
Oh, 2 years and 3 months ago.
and she was just a. I never figured you to be a dog person, Lewis.
Oh, absolutely. I don't like cats. The only cats I've ever had that I liked were black cats.
Yeah, we got one of those.
I know.
Of course, my son, just by the way everything happens, she's got scheduled to go have her operation next week. She went into heat today.
Oh no.
Time for the isolation room.
Yeah. We had her done early.
Well, she just barely has turned. She's not even 4 months old yet. Hey, Lynetta, we see you there. The problem is she is coming up to all the dogs saying, "I love you."
She's a little floozy, huh?
Oh yeah,
What are you looking for?
and the dogs are looking at her like, "What the hell?"
You're a cat.
You're-
Go away.
and the one boy dog.
I did not make the obvious joke.
The one boy dog we got who's due his trip next month is he's sort of going, I sort of know what you want, but you're a cat. And that's not going over very well.
Interspecies romance is so difficult sometimes.
Yes.
Almost as tricky as in space, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, really. Only you're going to need more than some extended seat belts.
The goodwill is probably what.
Goodwill. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. That's the word that I was looking for.
But I sort of think, I know Adam Kinsey, he occasionally tunes in and will sometimes comment on a page. And Adam, I'm sorry, but I see the Songbird shutting down as your payback for shutting down all the little venues in this town.
Yeah. And the one that I miss the most is the Station House restaurant.
Station House, yes.
Oh my God. Just the whole experience. The food was great, but the singing waiters, come on, man.
And the photo place and the ice cream shop,
Yeah.
the candy store, the little gift shop, not the one over next to the convention
Convention area.
function rooms.
And they
But-
closed that down.
They've
They
closed that down.
They closed that down.
What are they? They've stopped shooting themselves in the foot and started aiming higher.
Yeah.
Ow, that sounds even more painful.
Yeah. This is going to go. What should have happened was it should have been declared a historical building and
It is.
preserved
There is-
as.
There's only one building part of that whole complex that is considered historical, the actual train station.
Yeah.
The lobby
everything-
itself.
Everything else out there is property. That's why they tore down that old signal house
Yeah.
that was there for forever.
Down
And-
by the
I think she wants to play drums.
I didn't know you were a drummer.
Yeah.
Got to be careful about them drummers.
well,
They wind up being news directors.
well, Dan, you know why why there's always a drum solo in a concert, don't you? When the band goes and takes a break,
I'm afraid to ask.
because they'd lose their rhythm.
At least it wasn't a math joke. Where is your... Exactly. That's what I was saying.
I forgot to have it ready. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sure Donna hears that all the time.
Yeah.
And what John was talking about, down there where shoot.
They had this signal building, and it was like it's one of a kind. You can't find it custom built, been there forever. The old signal tower with the control tower up top. And for some odd reason, it wasn't part of the historical site.
Although it was of the same era.
Same era. As a matter of fact, I think it was built before the train station was.
Yeah.
So it was actually just a hair older. And tore it down. Didn't try to save it or move it or anything like that. Just brought in a shovel and bashed it down.
Oh, the crane that used to sit out in the middle of the parking lot?
Yeah.
Cut it up for scrap.
They didn't donate it to the Railroad Museum.
Railroad Museum didn't need it, didn't want it. Cut it up for scrap.
Oh, Lord. This is just
They
stupid compounding, stupid.
They did push the caboose further into the train station.
What happened with the trolley?
Yeah, I was about to ask that.
They built apartment complexes right in the middle of the trolley line.
What did they do with the trolley car?
They pushed it. It's in part of pushed it all the way up.
It's up next to the engine, probably. The locomotive.
Well, it's
probably
up to the front side. Yeah.
Yeah. That was dumb.
Pretty much, if they ever move any of that stuff out, it's got to come out in pieces.
Or the buildings have to come down.
Or a really big friggin' helicopter.
Guys, she's pacing around, so I'm probably going to go ahead and take her out. I'll be back.
Okay.
You got to take her for a walk. Walkie station.
Skunk, where are you?
He's busy. He will be here.
Skunk sent me a message. She says he'll be here, but he will be late.
Yes, I know.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Do we still have Heather listening?
Yeah. I saw Lynetta.
Yeah, I've not seen anything from Heather in about 30 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's when we started talking about something unpleasant, and she ducked out. So, what was it? The maternity awards in Beirut.
Beirut, yeah. Trying to think, there was something else stupid in political news.
There's always something stupid.
So much to choose from and nowhere to hide.
Yeah. Of course, y'all saw my post earlier today. I said, you show me your honest politician, and I'll show you the best liar in the world.
Or probably somebody that would have been better off selling used cars.
I love that. There's that one line from The Hunt for Red October where the Secretary of Defense, oh, there he is. Good timing. You're only off by a minute.
Right.
Hey.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm just confused by the way John reacted.
You missed the conversation because I was literally taking your name in vain 1 minute ago.
Oh.
He was just going, "Where's Skunk? Where's Skunk? I need him."
Do you like driving to Nashville?
Do I like driving to Nashville?
Yeah, like every weekend.
Well,
do you like
why?
football games?
Where are you going with this?
Yeah, I'll tell you in a minute as soon as he gets back from walking his dog.
Yeah, Lewis has a great job opportunity that if we had the right ability to internet connect, we could make a killing.
The only problem is you may have to provide a Wi-Fi hub. but that's okay because you can include it in the contract.
Yeah, get the boss to pay for it. Make sure it's in writing.
Get 2 of them.
Yeah, always need
Yeah.
a backup.
Use one for the boss, keep one for yourself.
No, put one on one side of the field and one on the other.
Oh, he was talking about contracts.
Contract. You never done contracting? You always buy
Me?
new tools. Even if you've got 100 hammers and you got a hammer and nail as part of the contract, put another hammer in the contract.
These are those $25,000 military hammers you're talking about?
No. Just every time you have to do a contract, buy new circular saws, new blades, new just hammers and belts for tools, whatever. Why it costs so much to get your house fixed?
Hey, I'm still trying to figure out how to get the company to pay for me having virus masks. They gave me
order twice,
2. They
order
gave me
twice as many
2.
of them and then charge them twice as much.
I can't order. I'm not allowed. I do receiving. I'm not allowed to order. They caught somebody in I believe in management that was ordering stuff and taking it home. Then they were also the one receiving it. So they split it up so that whoever makes the orders can't do receiving, and whoever does receiving can't do orders.
Yeah.
If it keeps management honest, I'm all for it.
Well, the problem is, it's when the guy in purchasing is married to the lady in receiving.
Yeah, but we don't have that one going on yet.
Or
we have had some strange things, but no, not that one yet.
Or the guy in purchasing is fishing buddies with the guy in receiving.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's Lewis. Are you ready? Give us a thumbs up if you're ready, Lewis.
Everything come out okay?
Here we are to save the day.
So, Lewis.
Yeah.
We're trying to tell Skunk about a possibility of a good job opportunity in Nashville.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever shot?
Sorry. Meant to do that.
Yeah. Say it again. John knocked you off screen.
Right. Read it again. Yeah.
Oh, you want me to read it? Let's see.
Where to put it?
Okay. Basically, because Nashville Public Schools are going to be playing in empty stadiums, they're looking for people who can stream the games live. Basically, the criteria is streaming must happen on a free, easy to access and find, easy to use platform like Facebook Live, Twitter, website with a link or whatever. It must be available on iOS, Android, Mac, and PC. Must stream in HD. There's going to be between 8 to 13 games a week that need to be streamed.
A week?
Must be at least one camera shot from the 50-yard line from either the stands or the press box. Sound must be live, but doesn't have to be great, but just you need to get the feel of being in the stands. You have to shoot the entire game, which means 20 minutes before kickoff and down to the final whistle, even if it goes into overtime. And they're looking for requests for proposals. That's something you would be able to do or interested in.
I think they're wanting you to do all of them, like one big contractor.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Sounds like one big
I
contractor.
they would prefer that. I don't know if there's anybody even in Nashville that's ready to do a 1 or 2 camera shoot at 13 different games every week and stream them all. I don't know if
Stream them all live. That's the other
They
thing.
would be better off with 13 different contractors doing one day a week.
They are not
one per school would probably be better.
Yeah. Well, they're not expecting ESPN. They're expecting something where parents and fans can just log on and watch the game, keep track of the score. I mean, it would be really easy for me to do, but I don't feel like driving up to Nashville every Friday night for football season.
First thing is you got to find out whether or not the field they're going to sign you to has Wi-Fi worth a damn.
Exactly. Because
If not, you got to figure out how to do
Wi-Fi hotspot.
Yeah, you're talking about in stadiums too. There's generally not Wi-Fi in the stadiums. I mean, if it's
there might be what's the word I'm looking for?
Press box,
Press box. There might be
in the press box,
internet,
but probably not. Like Ringgold never had anything like that. Maybe if it's a really posh school like Macaulay, they might have, or Notre Dame, they might have something like that.
Heritage.
Yeah,
like the other thing you want to do
in
you
Nashville,
probably only want one camera because
that would be difficult.
No,
one camera would make it very, very simple.
Yeah,
like I said, they're not for ESPN.
But
here.
I have done that as amateur, and it's not easy.
Well, no.
The thing is that what you would need for if you're wanting to do this on the super unbelievable cheap. I don't know why I'm giving other people advice. What you would want to have if you were doing this on the super cheap would be, I would say, you would want at least one good camera for each stadium, at the very least.
And then like a
something
color
that's
camera or something like that.
Something that's got good zoom, right? Because you're gonna want to be able to zoom in on plays, right?
Yeah.
While they're happening.
Trying to do it with a DSLR or mirrorless camera, can't do it. Absolutely can't do it.
Yeah, it would have to be a
manually zoom, and it's all.
Yeah. You'd have to have an electronic zoom, and it would have to be a good electronic zoom.
Minimum.
Yep.
And then because you're doing that, you would either need cameras that already have streaming capabilities built into them, or you'd have to have capture devices for each camera that you would use, and there would have to be one capture device for each camera you would use at each site. So at the bare minimum, you're looking at one capture card each, and then one computer to run that capture card. If you were doing it with multiple cameras, you could use multiple capture cards, and then you'd have to have streaming. Their streaming software already has this capability built in where you could switch between the different cameras for different shots.
Right.
Now, as far as doing like instant replays and stuff like that, then you're getting into even more complicated stuff.
You wouldn't need that.
But
no.
I will say this: that software that I was talking about, open broadcasting software, which is open source, 100% free, does have the ability to do instant replay, but you gotta have it set up. It's got to be complicated. I don't even know if it could do instant replay on a different camera like they would, like because and then if you were gonna do it right, you need at least 2 cameras or 3 cameras. If you were gonna do it right,
I'd say 4. I would say 4.
You would need at least 3 cameras if you're going to do it right, because you're going to have one on the 50-yard line, be able to go back and forth across the gridiron, right? And then you need 2 at each end of the stadium for the field goals.
All right. Now, what I was thinking was,
you wouldn't need all that.
One on each side.
I was saying if you're going to do it right. I was going to say if you're going to do it right.
You're right with 3 minimum cameras, but you got to have them on the 20, 50, and 20. Your 20 and 20 are always going to be your game cams. They're going to follow the action. They're going to start wide. They're going to zoom in as the play progresses and stay tight on the hero shot. Your 50-yard camera is always going to be your wide overall shot.
Over the whole field. That's the one to do the most work.
Yeah.
You would have,
that would be your static shot.
Yeah, the 20-yard line cameras cover the action from the goal line to the 50, 50 to the goal line, and then the 50-yard line camera can either be the safe wide shot or it can be a tight ISO in certain circumstances.
That was why I was saying go for 4.
With that, you then have each time that you add a camera, each time that you add a camera, you add an additional person. This is already a 2-person job. Every time you add a camera, it's going to be an additional person. So if you're doing 3 cameras at each location, how many schools did you say it was, Lewis?
13.
13.
Well, they said between 8 and 13 games per week.
8.
So that means you got 26 schools.
We're saying, okay, so 26 schools, right? But wait, but 13
broadcasts.
13
games.
between schools, but 13
Yeah.
Per week.
setups. Yeah.
13 per week, and are we doing just? Let me ask you this. This
You
is
can
important.
broadcast it on StreamYard, and they
Is
get
it-
it.
Is it just? This is actually a really important question. Is it just high school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is it okay? So it's just high school. So it's gonna be all Friday nights.
Right.
26 schools, 13 games. So 13 games a night. So it's 13 times. You've got at least, if you're doing at least 3 cameras at each location, and then you have to have at least one operator to operate between, like, switching the camera feeds between the different cameras as they're filming to show what's going on. That's a 4th person right there. So you're looking at 52 people at the minimum.
I was
Per
thinking
game.
you could do it. I was thinking you could do it decently with just 2 people.
2 people
One-
would be the absolute bare minimum. You're talking
Yes.
1 guy to run the camera, 1 guy to operate the feed. Well, at the very minimum, actually, if you were doing it that way, since it's only 1 feed would be going, then you would only need 1 person, because he just has to hit the button to start streaming. But I would say you would want 2 people, because you would want 1 person sitting there at the computer going, okay, wait a minute. We'll put up
Like I
any kind of statistics or anything up on the screen. Plus, on top of that, like player names and stuff, and score, to put the score up, make sure the score constantly gets changed and stuff like that. Plus, you would also need that person to make sure the stream stays up, because what if something goes wrong?
I
I
see.
would have 1 guy running the stream and running the camera, the one up by the press box,
Yeah,
and you would have a microphone in the press box with the people that are doing the commentating.
exactly.
So you wouldn't have to say anything. Let them run their own damn game.
Yeah,
Lewis has a camera.
camera and a laptop will do it.
Yes. And then 1 person basically running up and down the field with the smaller camera doing the close-up stuff.
I
For
like Lewis,
specialty shots, yeah.
I like Lewis's thing,
And
but I see 5 people with
They're
Lewis.
not going to outfield.
Do what?
no one's allowed on the field.
no,
Yeah.
just outside.
John said somebody in the field, and they're not going to outfield act.
I think what John's saying is, it's like, if the stadiums are set up, which they generally are. I've noticed that every single high school event I ever went to, the stadiums were set up exactly the same. You have the gridiron in the middle. Outside of that's a running track for track meets.
And you have your
and
guy
stuff
with the
like that.
camera on the running track,
He would
basically
be-
following
yeah.
the action.
He would be on the running track running back and forth.
That's inside. That's considered in the
And
field.
he gets pictures of the cheerleaders and people in the stands or whatever.
Well, there won't be no cheerleaders.
Won't
You
be no
gotta-
cheerleaders, so it would just
Won't
be the
be any
players.
people in the stands either.
And you would be, yeah, your guys would be in the stands. And let me tell you something: as somebody who has gotten into a lot of trouble running around at football games, you don't want to be running through the stands. That's how you break an ankle or shin.
No,
Oh,
Wait.
not through the stands. No, like you said, on the running track down the side.
let me see if I'm getting Lewis's idea right. Wide shot of the 50, and then the 2 on the 20. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
They would be sitting up stand wise on the 20. Right?
Mhm.
Well, if that's the case, that's 3 camera operators there.
Yeah,
You would have to be somebody running your board op, and then somebody doing communication between the 3
now the
cameras.
three cameras. If one camera would be static, like you were saying, right? That's your classic ESPN wide shot. You get the whole field on that, right? And then, like he was saying, you have one at one end of the field, one at the other end of the field, filming everything else in between. Those 2 guys, their whole thing is keep your eye on the ball. That's all they have to do. They
Yeah.
just have to keep the camera on the ball. Wherever the ball is, that's where the camera goes. If the ball's not moving, the camera's not moving, and that's all you have to. That's all they're giving the instruction to do. You got one more guy, so that's 3 minimum, right? Because you'd have 2 guys operating the cameras. One guy would be operating the stream itself. They're the ones who are going to be switching between the camera feeds, putting the score up on the screen, timers, all that other stuff. God, that would be a lot of if you wanted to do it right. There's a name for that cable. It's not BNC. I forget what kind of cable it's called. But if you wanted to do it right, the cameras would be using that.
Lewis already had the cure for that. What, Sling Box? Is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
Sling box.
Oh, Sling. Oh, yeah. Well, like Sling works with, unless it's a Sling ready camera, Sling works with cell phones and tablets and stuff like that. Anything
Well, they also have their own. They have their own transmitters that work off of HDMI. So any camera with an HDMI output can plug into a Sling transmitter and can be used with the overall system.
And even if it's HDMI mini or HDMI micro, you can get adapters. It still works. I know I've done it with a HDMI transmitter before.
Well, my Nikon D5600 had a micro HDMI out, and I was able to hook up an external monitor to that. So,
if you did,
hey Joe, I'm going to come off here for just a second, but I'm going to come right back on from my phone. I got something I wanted to show.
Okay.
So by doing that, though, what I was going to say was by doing that, I keep hearing myself.
Lewis is fixing to do some switching around or something.
Yeah.
Right. We're just waiting. Are you going off you're dropping this stream, or you?
Okay, it's gone. So what I was going to say is that the other option would be to run HDMI cables if you didn't trust the electromagnetic interference in the local area.
Yeah.
Because the Sling stuff works off of Wi-Fi and stuff. So, and you need to provide your own Wi-Fi hotspot, which would be, if you're providing your own Wi-Fi hotspot, by the way, you're not doing that with like setting up a router and connecting up to an internet server, all that other stuff. With those situations, a lot of those stadiums, especially up there in Nashville, more than likely, because a lot of those places are super old. Right? They've been schools that have been there for 40 years. They're not going to have access points built into the stadium.
Yeah.
They're doing everything off of these bad boys right here.
All
which
right.
is perfectly fine. But
Lewis is back.
All right, I'm back. So I don't guess I can change cameras while I'm in this program, but just to give you guys an idea, my wife calls this my I love me wall.
look at
We
that.
have those in the military. Yes.
Yeah, these are the credentials from some of the events that I've covered.
Oh man, you've been.
Just some.
So where was that pit pass?
That was the pit pass was probably Bristol. Let's see. No, that was Talladega.
Dega?
Yeah. The carrier that it's in is from
No,
Bristol.
Bristol.
Oh,
Yeah. I almost burned to death at Bristol. That's another story. Let's see. There's TSSAA Clinic Bowl. Then we got NCAA.com. Let's see. There was
now where is now?
SEC.
I got to know, where is your '96 Atlanta?
Oh, that's right here. The Kodak.
Is that?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that was when you worked for News 12.
Yeah, I did work for News 12. I worked for Channel 3. Let's see. This was my very first press pass ever issued in Louisiana.
I wish my hair was still that dark.
Coming back, guys. It's coming back.
Yeah,
The Rock just bought 'em.
The Rock put a lot of money into the new XFL.
Yeah.
So
And
But,
COVID hit. They,
No.
Here we go.
He put money into it because COVID hit.
okay, I thought they had already started broadcasting when COVID hit.
That's why he
broadcast
put
a
the money
couple
in.
games, but then they went bankrupt because they couldn't play any more games, and they were on the auction block. They were going to be auctioned Thursday afternoon, and The Rock and his two partners came in and threw the money down and said, "We'll take it." And they said, "Yes, sir. How many?" But anyway, so this is just, I've done a few sporting events.
Yeah, he's not
And
showing
that's
off
my
the one
favorite
thing
thing
that
to
I'm
do.
curious about.
Which
What?
one?
Lewis, you're not showing off the one thing I'm curious about.
What?
It's to your right,
To my right.
a little bit further. There's a
to the right.
purple jersey. I think it's behind you now.
Oh, yeah, that's my LSU game-worn jersey.
Wow.
Yep.
I know an LSU fan that is the sales manager at the Best Buy over there on Gun Barrel Road who'd be super jealous of that.
Really? I just went there and picked up a new router the other day. Yesterday, in fact.
Well, yeah, the sales manager at that Gun Barrel, Wendell, he's he's from Louisiana. He's a huge LSU fan.
And
This
what's
is a practice ball.
And he's a huge Saints fan, too. Let's see the Saints placard.
So you got that, and
He'd be so super jealous of all that stuff right there, man. You said that was a practice ball?
here. Okay, here. Can you see this one? It's
Yeah.
hard to tell. All right, and I didn't. This was when I first got into doing sport shoots, and I was freelancing for ESPN. That's Archie Manning, and that is oh crap. Well, it's
Oh,
Archie
crap, I've
Manning's
seen him play.
signature, and
He's my favorite player.
I think he graduated from my high school.
My dad used to watch him all the time. He'd go, "Oh crap!"
Yeah, well, I didn't realize I could have lost my credentials by getting them. Oh, Morton Anderson, Archie Manning and Morton Anderson signed this one credential. I could have lost my credential by doing that. But,
Oh, and I see you have the John Scarborough action figure.
yes, very proud of that.
is that the reverse thumb?
With
I'll have
Kung
you
Fu
know, I
Limp
never
Wrist
got to
action.
wear the chocolate chip camouflage.
No, this is with Kung Fu Limp Wrist action.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm
and
not touching that line.
this is from the Women's Rugby Championship in Atlanta. And this was the winning team was New Zealand, and I got them all to autograph a game ball. I thought that was pretty cool. This
Women
was back
playing
in
rugby. That just kind of
2015.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm glad you
dude.
said the date. For a minute there, I thought I dated them.
I got the gig. And it was a last minute thing. A friend of mine recommended me, and they said, we need you for the women's championship. It's happening down in Atlanta. I said, great. So I had 2 weeks to learn what rugby was. I started watching every video I could on rugby to pick up on the rules and how the game progressed and everything. Just fell in love with the game. I didn't want to watch American football after that.
The thing to remember about rugby is that rugby players eat their dead.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They'll eat their young.
Well, I used to when I first started working for Best Buy, when I was living up in Knoxville, the guy that got me the job was a rugby player. And a lot of the people that he hired that worked in the warehouse were his friends that he knew from when he played rugby for University of Tennessee.
Huh.
Right?
Didn't know UT played rugby.
No, it wasn't UT. It was no, it was ETSU. ETSU, sorry. My bad. ETSU. And so I remember we did have it. No, we had a UT football player. That's what it was. We had hired a UT football player. He was a really nice dude too. But when we were there, like all those guys had played rugby that he knew from we were all working in the warehouse and stuff, and from when he went to college, that he had hired in. Toughest dudes in the world. One of them had a refrigerator fall on him, and we were all panicked. Or well, let me rephrase that. I was panicked. I don't know if anybody else was panicked. I was panicked. I saw a refrigerator fall on this dude, and he power lifted this refrigerator off of him like he was bench pressing, and just got up and was like, whatever, and just kept moving. And I was like, if that had happened to me, I would have been flattened.
And then punched the hell out of the refrigerator and said, "Don't you ever fall on me again."
I
hope not. That was a customer delivery.
I worked with a rugby player at a newspaper one time, and he had a bald patch in his head. And I asked him about it one day, and he says, "I got cleated." Really? Okay. Maybe you should guys wear a helmet or something. No?
Nope, that wouldn't be rugby.
No, it wouldn't be.
Why would I do that to a good helmet?
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna kill this because I'm going into low power mode. I'm gonna kill this and go back to the desktop.
Yeah.
All right.
We've got about 20 minutes left.
Yeah, and during this 20 minutes, I do want to talk about something else besides high school football.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, gentlemen, and Dan, notwithstanding, because I know you're not in the local area, but what are y'all doing on Friday night?
Why do they keep doing that?
Drinking heavily. Maybe if I'm lucky, I'll be able to write some more.
So here's the super cool thing about they play musical windows.
No, I'm trying to figure out how to make you the bigger window, and it won't let me do it.
You click the little personal person up in the corner of their thing.
Okay. That.
Oh,
No,
that
see,
was
they don't went to that. Not what I want to do.
Well,
Yeah, you click the little person.
well, Joe, you do it.
I want us to still be. No, I want us to still be on the side. I just want-
I don't think you can do that.
well, it's got a box for it, doesn't it?
There you go.
Yeah,
That
but
one.
it's
I want
for
him
Joe,
in there.
but he wants me in there instead of Joe.
Exactly.
Okay, no, it don't do that. That's one of the big requests.
Oh,
really?
it's
Then why
it's
is
a host. It's a control chair
Host.
only.
Yeah. Of course, Joe could give us all permission on that.
See, I can do that. And then,
Because you have director permission.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but as I was saying, Friday.
sorry.
And he just kicked you off screen. Say it again. John did it.
I was trying to do this.
Okay.
I missed.
All right, so no, Friday night, as in tomorrow night. If y'all live in this local area, you don't even really need to live in. It might be a little far for Dan to drive, but if you live in the local area in Athens, Tennessee, at the Swingin' Midway Drive-In Theater, located on Highway 30 between Athens and Etowah, right? They're doing a very special showing tomorrow night. Gates open at 7 p.m.
Of
Friday the 13th and A Nightmare on Elm Street. The originals.
Woo! Oh, why am I doing this? It's not what I wanted.
I gotta be honest with you guys. I love both those movies, obviously. Anybody who knows me knows how much I love horror films, and especially A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Can we bring hockey mask and like butcher knives?
Finger knives?
Butcher knives.
I have a no. You're thinking of Halloween.
Oh,
Freddy
well, you
is
said Friday the 13th. I mean, what, machetes or
machetes.
flamethrowers? One of them, yes.
Well, with the first Friday the 13th, it wouldn't even be machetes. Well, no, there is a machete. I was gonna say with the first Friday the 13th, you want to bring arrows.
And a pitchfork.
Nah, that's part 2. Arrows because of Kevin Bacon. You know, he gets stabbed through the neck with an arrow.
Oh,
Freddy is. Freddy the 13th.
Made bacon kebabs. Okay.
Yes.
Machete.
Maybe fried bacon. No, like
The
it's
first
$12 per
Friday the 13th,
carload.
Oh, no, there is a machete. I was doing the first Friday the 13th. You want to bring arrows.
Okay. Somebody's got this coming up on Facebook.
Yeah,
it's
somebody's echoing.
arrows. It's Kevin
I
Bacon.
think it's Lewis.
No. He gets stabbed through the neck with an arrow. And Freddy is. Freddy the 13th.
Made bacon.
Yeah,
It's Lewis.
Like
Lewis Might be his phone.
no, the first
But yeah, it's Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. It's going to start at 7 p.m. at the Swinging Midway Drive-In in Athens. Like I said, it's between Athens and Etowah. I'm going.
Kevin Bacon. It's Lewis.
We got two people from Scrub House Video Club are going. Joe Blair is going with me as well because I know he loves horror films and plus he's my buddy. And then I also know Barry Allen of Ego Pro Wrestling, who's also a big horror fan. He's going. He lives in Athens, so it's like right down the street from him. A bunch of other people are going too. It's going to be a big event. Probably one of the coolest things to happen in this area for me personally since like hell, I'd probably say I would have to go back and say like when I got to go see Machine Head, the Black Dahlia Murders, As I Lay Dying, and Death Clock live. I think that was As I Lay Dying. I don't remember. I only remember 3 of the bands out of that 4-band set. And like, cause this is seriously, these are like 2 of the movies that shaped my life. You know, I'm like, especially Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, I can't wait to see this on the big screen, especially because I'll get to watch this movie in my pickup truck, smoking cigarettes. I'm not going to be drinking beer because, I mean, I have to drive. That's the only caveat. Like, I can't drink. But other than that, I'll be able to smoke cigarettes. I'll be able to eat nasty movie theater food in the comfort of my own truck with my bomb stereo system in my truck. Like, this is going to be awesome. And I'm going to be doing it with Joe Blair. And in between movies, like, I'm going to be able to hang out with all my friends. It's going to be a good time. If you guys are into 80s slasher films, come out to the Swinging Midway tomorrow night. Like I said, gate opens at 7. We're going to be getting there about 7 o'clock. I don't know when they're going to actually start the movies because, you know, it always takes a little while for the drive-in to start the movies. You know, it's usually like an hour or so.
It's usually what, 30 minutes after sunset?
Not even that long.
Yeah, no.
They'll start running the previews. You know,
The quote-unquote previews.
Good night, Lynetta.
These are
Hi,
movies.
Lynetta.
These are movies from the 80s. They're not going to have a whole lot of previews.
Yeah, I don't think they have a lot of previews to put on the movie screen this time of day.
Well, no, there is one thing that they could put up that anybody that's going to go to this particular movie night, there's one trailer that they could put up that would get everybody in that drive-in excited simultaneously, and that is Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Have they finally announced when it's coming out?
Oh, it's coming out. It's coming out. Like,
when?
They moved it up a week.
I heard that. When?
It's coming out like next month. Yeah. I can get you the exact date. Give me a second.
Heather says it only starts with the cartoons until it gets dark enough.
Which with this, I'm really hoping that since somebody put this night together, somebody down there at the Swinging Midway is like a big horror fan and just shows episodes of Tales from the Crypt. Or like Scooby-Doo or something, you know? Like,
the classic Scooby-Doo with the one with Barney Fife.
No.
Oh, come on, that was classic. What do you want to see, Batman and Robin?
Oh, no, it's actually this month. It's coming out this month. Select theaters and on demand on August 28th, 1 week ahead of its previously announced schedule date. So, well, it's going to be on demand. I might just watch it at home. I cannot wait to see this movie. It's, oh man, this has been, ever since it was announced, like the whole family, like my like this has been like the one thing that my dad and my mom have agreed on since the divorce. They're like they really want to go see Bill and Ted.
Okay, what was
point of
the
order.
okay? It was Swinging Midway Drive-In.
May I interrupt?
The Swingin' Midway Drive-In. Swingin' is spelled with an apostrophe.
Gotcha.
It's on the road between Athens and Etowah.
Yes.
Let me. I can actually drop it into the chat.
Hang on a
Dan,
minute. I'm way ahead of you,
And
actually.
go
That's why I
ahead,
was
go
asking.
ahead, Dan. Say what you got to say.
Are any of you experiencing thunder right now, or is it
No.
me?
Just
It's
you.
you.
Just
Just
you.
North Georgia. Probably the stuff we got earlier
Okay.
today.
My power may go out, so if I vanish mysteriously,
If it's the same thing that rolled through our area, it wasn't that bad. Just a lot of thunder.
well, I wouldn't
don't
mind a
know.
little bit of rain because we didn't water the garden tonight. It got watered
There's Chattanooga.
extensively
There's
yesterday.
Athens, there's Cleveland. There's Etowah. And it's somewhere in here.
So that Etowah is spelled with two O's at the beginning?
No, that's ETW.
Oh, okay.
ETO
WAH.
WAH. Next to
Okay.
Conesaga.
Yeah, I'm
There's
dyslexic. If I saw Conesaga, I'd think it was Conestoga.
411 goes up there.
and here's the best part about this is that if you're one of those people that doesn't like taking the interstate, dude, look, you could take 411 the whole way.
Yeah, but then you got to go through Benton.
What's
How
wrong with
much-
Benton?
How
I used to
much
drive
is
through
it?
Benton all the time.
The
How
only
much
thing
is it?
the only thing in Benton is a shooter supply store.
$12 a carload. So let's say that you're one of those enterprising individuals who has a
Minivan?
4.5
camper.
seater.
Or a U-Haul truck.
The only problem is that anybody that sits in the back seat obviously isn't going to be able to see the movie. But if you are, how can I put this delicately? If you're the target audience for such a film,
Covert.
and yes, and you want to be covert, or if you just want to get away from mom and dad's house for a night with your girlfriend or boyfriend, you're not going to be watching the movie anyways. What the hell do you care?
Then why are you inviting them?
I'm not inviting. I'm inviting the people that want to see the movie. I'm also pointing out that drive-ins are a great way to get laid.
Yeah, that's for the millennials that don't understand.
I'm waiting. I was sitting there and I did it, and I was waiting for somebody to do the good night, everybody. But Joe had his hands behind his head.
Yeah,
He was just remembering his childhood.
I like that. Do you guys remember that episode of That 70s Show when they went to go see The Omen? And well, yeah, they go to see The Omen because it was the 70s. And it was Kelso's line. Oh, horror movies turn chicks on faster than porno. And so Eric and Donna are trying to watch the movie in the Vista Cruiser. In the back seat, it's Kelso and Jackie fooling around.
Vista Cruiser? Really?
Yeah, they're in the Vista Cruiser. You remember that show had a Vista Cruiser?
I did not remember that.
You could
my
literally-
first car was an Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser.
You could
74
literally
Vista Cruiser.
cruise the vistas. Great line from that show when Red accidentally got high on pot brownies. It's a Vista Cruiser. You could literally cruise the vistas.
Well, we are getting down to 5 minutes to go. So we're going to sort of wrap it up. And what I'm going to do is we open the show with a nice little dedication, audio dedication from something.
I
I
missed
don't know
it.
if you. Yeah, you missed it because
I had
it
to work
was-
on my truck, man.
we sort of surprised Dan with playing the opening of his audiobook, the dedication to his wife and his family and all that. I swear the man almost cried on
Right.
us.
We almost made Dan cry.
It's not hard.
It was heartwarming. Yes.
But Dan, it's your time to shine. Tell everybody where can you get it, what it is, and all that.
Well, it's available on Amazon, And you can look up my name on Amazon. You can find my writer's page, which will have 3 of my 4 things that are published right now. If you do a Google search, you can find my music on Bandcamp as well as all 4 books that I'm in.
What book is on Amazon?
Tales from the Marinebrium is on Amazon. Abducted just came out this year, and it's on Amazon.
That's the one we need to plug.
And then Flash of Aphelion, I have one short story in, and that's also on Amazon. There is another one that is not on Amazon. I wish it was, because nobody knows how to find it now, because it's about 2 years old. Other than that, you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me at Aphelion Webzine. And I don't believe I want to admit anywhere else you could find me. So there.
All right. But let's plug the new book. All the details.
Okay. Abducted is basically the middle of a story about a fellow who lied his way into the Army Air Corps during the Korean War, wound up a fighter jet pilot, wound up flying A-12s, and then got shoehorned or strong-armed into working for the CIA on the ground. Abducted is basically, it starts off, he's just had an argument with his wife or girlfriend, hadn't married her yet, riding around on a back road in Georgia in the middle of the night, and has a fender bender with a flying saucer.
Okay.
And things get weird from there.
Gets weird from there. Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty much wrapping it up. Our after show was going to begin over on my Facebook page, just my Facebook page. So you got to be my friend to participate in that. Yeah, you got to be my friend to hang out with me afterwards. You know, I don't like some of you guys, so I mean the people that are watching. So
that's okay. You don't like some of us that are here.
You wouldn't be here if I didn't like you. Let's just put it that way. So we're gonna say good night, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you, John. Thank you, Skunk, Lewis. Appreciate you. And Dan, yeah, we done gave you the accolades.
Yeah, really. What more can I do?
All right. So good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good evening, friends.
I have slit the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.